Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for the late start. It's been a while since I've been doing this on my own. Unfortunately, Aaron's not very well, so I am on my own. And round 19, Singapore. We had a few times come in already. Q1, so we got camera off. I'll just get some details up here actually. Obviously, the majority will probably go for softs. Kamarov set the early pace of 1:38.8 at the moment. Let's have a look. We've got Robbo 1:39.1, Fritz Trick 39.2, A72 39.3, 39.5 for Icebreaker, 40.5 for Davies, 40.7, 40.9 Dystopian and Goomba. Rufio's going round on the medium tyre. Got Red Bull cut to the line now. I think that is Scott. Yeah, 40.9 Scott. Rufio is just starting a lap, I believe. Got a Ferrari of A72. I'm only going to assume is an in lap. Just bear with me just 1 second. Just want to make sure the stream is working. Just get it up on my phone. Two seconds. Might hear myself in a second. I just want to make sure it's working. Yeah, it's working. Excellent. Right, I am back with you. I have got the stream chat open. If anyone is going to contact me during the stream, I will be there and I'll keep an eye on it best I can. Where are we now? So purple sector 2 from Rufio, standard. Unless it genuinely is, then well done Rufio. Icebreaker's coming. I think he's just gearing up to start one now, yeah. We have a Aston Martin Fritz Trick about to start one as well. Got Red Bull behind him, which I believe is Scott coming in, yeah. Rufio is about to finish his laps. Let's have a look, see what Rufio can do on those medium tyres. He goes over the line, 40.7, enough for P8 at the moment. Obviously Q1, so with only 16 people, that means that only one driver is going out. Evening, Tom Strowdy. Thank you very much for joining. Where are we now? Gareza is now on his out lap. A bit of a wobbly last week, but he's back. A72. Yellow flags there. I think he may have had an upseat. I'm not sure if he's got any damage there. Great camera there from Cody's. Evening, Mad Mark. Yeah, 1:38's already, Tom. It's only Q1. We do have a return this week of Plum. Who's just starting his lap now. The championship leader had a bit of a sabbatical last week, so he's back and looking to carry on his fine form for the AlphaTauri team. Obviously, his teammate Goomba, he's just coming around actually to start a lap. He's not flying the flag solo this week, so a little bit of pressure comes off of him. Mercedes. Icebreaker then, I think, yeah, he's backed off, so it looks like he may be coming in. Evening, I believe that's Aaron and then Stuart commenting on the same channel. Rufio's coming in. Greza's just coming around to start his lap. And behind Rufio is Davies. Let's stick with Davies then. He is on a lap in the Alpine. His teammate for the night currently sat in P1. Kamarov. 1:39.4 from Davies. I think Kamarov as well, mentioning Kamarov, he has got a 10-second penalty to be applied onto this race result from way back in Baku, I believe it was. But obviously being only reserve, that's why it's been so long till he's actually served it. Plum, what can Plum do? This could be quick. 36.8 from Plum. So we're now in the 36s, Tom. Haas of Bacon Soda, 37.3. Atkins in the Red Bull's just starting a lap now. And then Goomba's behind him, so we'll stick with Goomba, see what he can do. He is going quicker. Could be enough to push him up sort of to around P10, something like that maybe. We'll see. Yes, you did, Mad Mark. You had a brilliant race Saturday. In fact, all round, I think the majority had a good race. You know, P10, like I said. Oh, no, good. Where are we now? So, Davies, I say, has an in-lap for Davies. Greza's on a lap, I believe, if I remember rightly. So, let's go with Greza. Singapore's one of those unpredictable tracks as well, where you just never know what the weather's going to do. It does like to rain here, so whether we've got rain in the race, I don't know. No one's obviously let me know. Someone might let me know, but if not to worry. It would be a surprise. Greza, 137.7, enough provisional P3. Davies then coming in the pits. Got the Red Bull of Scott behind him on a lap. Let's see what Scott can do. I think his teammate and brother Atkins is out on track as well, so we'll skip down to him in a second. Here comes Scott. On 40.9, I don't think he improved there. There's Goomba. I think that's Plum coming into the so we will go to Atkins then. So we'll follow Atkins around the last corner. 138. 9.5, so that's enough for P10 for Atkins. Haas of Spread is now out on an outlap. And Bacon Soda is probably going to be coming in. Yes, he is. Goomba. So he's coming in as well. Ferrari. Greza's coming around after his lap. Right, where are we then? Scott's apparently up on his time, so we'll stick with Scott again. I think he is going to be the next one. Davies believes he's done enough to get himself into Q2, so retires from the session. So, Scott, he's 3.5 temps up on his time, so it's enough to push him a bit further into the top 15. Around sort of 11th, 12th at the moment. Well, 10th, 11th, sorry. Roughly where he'll sit if he carries on this sort of pace. We'll go down to Spreader in a minute, as he's the only one, well, not the only one, but Massey's joined as well. I know Massey was joining late, so he has joined. It's nice to see. 17 drivers, 2 going out in Q1 now. Scott goes with Wolf 140.1. We'll jump on with Spreads then, which Greza's retired and so's Plum. So they believe they've done enough to get into Q2 as well. We'll stick with Spread. Let's do an on-board with Spread for this lap actually. So we want to try and use as much of the track as possible without going off and out that line. Cut turn 1 very nicely. Sets you up for turn 2 and turn 3. Use as much of the track on the exit as you can. Evening darkmarc. Yeah. Trying to hit that wall on the exit, get the power down nice and early, and it's flat out down here. Nice little kink on the right, nice and easy to handle. Up to this one. This one's quite a hard one. Sometimes you can run really wide. Don't want to run too wide. That's nice from Spread. Take a bit of the apex there. Just misses the apex. You can probably go a bit quicker around that corner. Watch the wall on the exit here, but run it right up to the wall. He doesn't push it too far. This one's you can mind that barrier on the inside. You can cut that curve quite nicely. And we've got a little sort of chicane here, right, then left underneath, over the bridge, shall we say. Then we've got the tight hairpin here, and then it's flat out down here. Obviously the DRS activated there, as you can see. Up to the wall, and then cut that. And don't run too wide because it will invalidate you if you go past that solid white line. We've got a little flick to the left and then a little chicane here. Take the curbs nicely, right and then left. Get on the power as much as you can. Run it up to that wall, and then we've got this one here underneath the grandstand. A little left and right. And then another little chicane here, cut those curves nicely, don't overdo it, run it up to the wall, and then a little dab down of gears there, and then flat out up to the line, and Spreader goes in with a 1:38.1, enough for provisional P4. Great lap there from Spreader. Hopefully everyone can hear me okay and the game sound isn't too loud when I go on boards. I have tried to mess around with the settings so it's bearable. Invalidation there from Icebreaker. Massey is also now starting his lap after rejoining, or after joining a little bit late, but let's see what Massey can do. We have got some more out. Is Ewan about to finish one? 38.9, I'm not sure if he's just, I think he may have just started one actually. We've got Fritz Trick coming in the pits, we've got Dystopian then. I think he's just starting one, yeah. 40.7, yeah, so he's just starting, and then we've got another Alpha Tauri, so Goomba's right on the cusp here. P15 currently. Let's see if he can get that Alpha Tauri through. Just starting his lap now. Rufio is now out on the soft tyre after setting, I believe, what was his first. Let's have a look. Best. Oh no. He has set a lap on the softs now, so I think he's coming in actually. Yeah, he is. We've got a Mercedes. I think it's Massey. Yeah, so Massey will be next. So let's see what he can do. Get himself into that. He'd probably be aiming for top 5, let's be honest. He's got the ability to do so. This Monday tier is very competitive. There are some really quick guys here, and Massey obviously is one of them. Ever present towards the front of the field in this division. Doesn't run too wide, and he goes in, yeah, into P5, knocks Rufio down to P6. And that is Massey's qualifying done and dusted, one and done. Enough to get through. We've got a Haas then of Spreader coming in. We've got a Mercedes of Icebreaker, who's apparently up on his time. In that sector he was, but that is Icebreaker's qualifying done. He's in P14. Dystopian hasn't set a time yet, but Ewan's coming round. Doesn't improve. Dystopian then comes round, does a P12 time of 1:39.3. A72 is safe, but he probably will finish the lap. Does improve, I believe, 1:39.0. Can Goomba get himself into that top 15 then? That's the big question. Oh, only P16 for Goomba. Unlucky there. Unlucky. I think he displaced Scott. I think Scott ended up dropping down to P17. But we'll have a quick look in a second. No, this is not my favourite track, Domar. I'm not a big fan of this track, to be fair. Right, so as you can see there, Plum obviously takes the early spoils. Takes first place for Q1. It's not important just yet, but as you can see there, we have unfortunately lost out on Goomba, finishes P16. And Scott in the Red Bull, P17. I'm pretty sure Scott had a lot more in that time. He's normally sort of up there. So, yeah, Scott has a little bit of a break now before rejoining for the race. Let's have a look at the chat. Domar and Tom having a bit of a catch-up. So it's been a long time since I've had to do a stream on my own. I know Gunners has to do it quite a lot, unfortunately. We do try and get, obviously, we do normally try and do comms and co-comms just to make it a bit more interesting and fun for everyone watching the stream back. But yeah, I am on my own tonight. Let's get the details back up again. Obviously they'll be on the softs, so I don't need to put that out really, do I? For anyone who is watching the stream as well, that maybe doesn't know, with the changes we made at the beginning of the season, way back, 18 races ago now, this is the 19th race of the season already. Qualifying, there are points awarded for qualifying for first, second and third. at the end of Q3. 3 points for first, 2 points for second, 1 point for third. Just to give everyone that little bit of an incentive, just to try and push that extra bit. Every little counts when it comes to the points. First car on track was Ewan, so we'll stick with Ewan then. He has got a car quite close behind him. I believe it's a Williams. No, it's not a Williams. It must be an Alpine. Yeah, it's Kamarov. Kamarov, he does like to get out early, so I'm not surprised to see Kamarov quite close to the front of the queue. Ewan, then Kamarov, and then we've got a Ferrari of Greza behind Kamarov. So this is another track as well. Turn one, like Monza last week. Turn one can be a bit of a dangerous one. Hopefully the guys tonight just take it a little bit easy into turn one. Obviously, as everyone knows, the race isn't won on turn one. So it's nice to try and see everyone get round and then obviously then go racing for the rest of it. But, excuse me. Ewan then, first one to start a timed lap in Q2. The yellow flag there briefly is at the free. I can only imagine that's people backing up to allow themselves space for their lap. Yeah, I believe we're all probably hoping for no rain on Wednesday, because it does like to rain here, Domar. And obviously you will also be hoping for a lot more luck on Wednesday compared to Saturday, when you unfortunately... Oh, we've got a crash. Let's jump on with one of the Hasses. We may be able to see it. Yeah, there it is, A72. He's lost it and put it in the wall. Oh no, and we've just seen Bacon Soda lose it as well. There goes his teammate. Right, let's go back up to Ewan for a second. Yes, you're right, Mad Mark. It always rains at Singapore. Ewan then coming up to the tunnel or bridge section under the grandstand there. Oh, A72's left the session. What's going on there? Ewan then, 138.1. Kamarov, 137.5. Greza does a 138.6. Dystopian, 139.8. Massey with a 138.6. Davies there, 138.5. And we've got the Red Bull of Atkins behind. Atkins 140.1, and I believe that then is Master Spread. Goes in with a 138.7, and then Plum goes in with a 137.0, so half a second quicker than Kamarov as it stands. Robbo 139.2. Obviously Bacon Soda, I'm not sure. I think he's backed off obviously because of that spin at the beginning of his lap. Icebreaker's invalidated. He's got a McLaren behind him of Rufio. Rufio then coming round, maybe sort of a high 30s here. 38, 39. Yeah, 39.1 for Rufio. Fritz Trick. Around the last corner he goes. I think he's messed up on that lap, or he's geared up for another one because he's got quite a lot of the RS left. Ewan now is back round to take it into the pits. I'm going to see if I can get A72 back in. I'm not sure what's happened. Let's have a look. Not sure why he's left. Right, everyone's set their first times now, apart from Icebreaker, who is out on a lap. Well, he's out on track at the moment anyway. Yeah, his Robbo's coming in. Baking Soda's invalidated, so he will not be putting a decent time on the board yet. Hopefully for him they were scrubbed tyres and he's got some fresh ones to go out on if he needs to. Rufio, say you expect he'll be coming in? Yes, he is. Fritztrick, maybe on. Yeah, I think he's on a lap now. So he goes in with a 38.5. That's enough for P5 for Fritztrick. Excellent lap. Icebreaker then. I think he's slowed it down. Charging up that battery. Plum thinks he's done enough again. So he's now retired. Icebreaker's now going for a lap. It's just him and Fritztrick on track at the moment, I believe. Obviously Fritztrick's just done a lap, so he'll be coming in, so it is just Icebreaker. We'll stick with him then. See if we can get a bit more respectable time on the board. So this corner can catch you out if it takes too much speed into it. He noticed there, he sort of backed off the throttle a little bit, thinking maybe he might have ran wide. Yellow flags. I think that's just, yeah, Fritztrick going round slowly. So this inside corner here, where that wall is, you can cut that quite a lot, and he doesn't really take much of the apex there, Icebreaker. Ooh, runs a bit wide, misses the apex again. Oh, don't lose the back end there. That's quite easy to do as well. Nice and tight hairpin there. There's Fritztrick there. Obviously well out the way, which is great to see. Supposed purple sector again in sector 2. A little bit squirrely at times from Icebreaker, but this should be a much quicker time than obviously what he's already set. Oh, bashes against the wall there. Last corner then. Try not to step out that back end, and he goes over the line and does a 38.8, enough for P9. Obviously this is for a place in the top 10 shootout now as well, so it's all for all now. Ferrari on track, Reza on his outlap. Very soon I believe you'll see quite a few people piling out. Rufio's just come out for his second run. This is another one of those tracks as well. It's not an easy one for overtakes because it's quite twisty and there's walls obviously either side. Obviously a street track as well. It's sort of only a little bit better than Monaco really when it comes to the space you have on track. There are overtaking opportunities obviously, and obviously there is also more DRS zones than there are at Monaco. I mean, there might as well not be one at Monaco really, let's be honest. Sticking with Greza then as he comes round to complete sector 1. Purple sector 1 for Grezza. Obviously he's going to be looking at that time from Plum, that's what he's aiming for. Maybe a little bit of a psychological advantage if he can beat Plum's time there. We're all rooting for you, Graham. Two Hasses are out on track again. This purple sector 2. He's almost a second up. So he's within Kamarov's P2 time at the moment. He's in that sort of window, so he is pushing. Oh, a little bit squirrely out of that corner. That's not going to do him any favours. Still carries on with it. Could this be enough to knock Kamarov out of P2 or even Plum out of P1? Let's have a look. Down the last corner he goes, and he goes over with a 37.2. It's enough just to knock Kamarov out of P2. Not quite enough to reach Plum's time. Baking soda. I mean, he's doing brilliantly here. He's 21 seconds up on his time, so it's nice to see. He'll obviously want to be putting himself in that top 10 shootout if he can. Will Bacon. There you go. 138.0 from Bacon. Spread. 138.774. I think he's actually just starting now, so see what he can do. Rufio is on like that, so we'll go down to Rufio. He is going faster. He's on course to make it maybe about... Oh, Scott's now left the session. Oh, Rufio. He's running right on the edge here. But he goes in, oof, into P9, 38.6 for Rufio. Is that comfortable? I don't know. Fritz Trick's just gearing up to start one now. Robbo's on an outlet. We've got an Alpine there. Davies, who's invalidated. So he'll be gearing up to start another one as he's got all of his ERS sat there. Ready at his disposal. So Davies now starts. Scott's rejoined. That's nice to see. I'm still not sure what happened to A72. I'm not sure if he's rejoined or not. I see in the chat he mentioned about the times. But you can't let that off here. Qualifying's qualifying. It's the race where it's important. Right, Ferrari then of Graham coming in. Fritz Trick. Where are we looking now? Rez is retired. He thinks he's done enough. He probably has. Master spread, 37.4. He's up into P3 now, knocks Kamarov down. Kamarov's still in the pits. He won't be coming out again then. Where are we now? Massey is on an outlet. Icebreaker, 38.8. Now for P11. Probably see if he's got a bit more in the tank. I think Ewan's next actually. I'll just start in. Yeah, they're all gearing up now to start their laps. Rufio's sitting on the edge. He's in P10. Can anyone behind him knock him down? Let's keep an eye on these bottom 4 guys then. Dystopian, reserve driver for tonight in the Alfa Romeo. Just starting a lap now. So I'm keeping an eye on the top, the bottom 4 now. Atkins is out there on a lap at the moment. Robbo's in front of him, so Robbo will be next out of that bottom 4 to set a time. And he goes and does a 38.2. It's enough to, has knocked Rufio out. Atkins hasn't quite improved enough to get into that top 10 anyway, so it's P13 for Atkins. So Spreader's coming in. Who's the icebreaker then? Can he get himself into the top 10? He can. 38-0 up to P6, and that's now knocked Massey. Massey's out of the top 10 shootout. That's not something you say every week. I mean, he may put it down to lack of practice. Bear in mind, he was doing another race before this, but that is a shocker. So Dystopian is the last one to see if he can get himself out of that bottom 4 or 5 drivers there. He'll be wanting to put himself sort of in a low 38s if he can. 38.9, that's not enough. Unfortunately for Dystopian, P14 at best for this race tonight. No, I'd say I agree with you. I don't think you can't say this is anyone's favourite track really. And that is Q2 done. So we now know who the top 10 drivers are that will be going for those early points and obviously chance at pole position for the race. But yeah, shock of Q2. Massey out in the Mercedes. So there's our top 10 drivers. You can see them on screen there. They are the ones that are going to be going for pole position. But unfortunately, as mentioned a second ago, we say goodbye to Massey, Rufio, Atkins, Dystopian and A72. Obviously who DNF'd and has left the session. I haven't seen him jump back in. Hopefully he does. I'll send him another invite in a minute, just in case he's not in. But yeah, that's your bottom 5 in that session. I mean, should we just highlight this quickly? Look at Fritz Trick, 1.541 slower than P1. Massey 1.549, 8 thousandths of a second between Massey and Fritz Trick there to get into the Q3. That is close. Madmark early prediction there. Massey for one of the podium steps. And Tom there. He's going for Plum, Spread, Gweza in that order. What happened, Massey? Did you just not make it round in time? Did you just mess your lap up? What happened? Let us know. Ah, there we are. Rufio lets us know Massey got damage. So it was Bacon Soda out on track first this time. Probably closely followed by Ewan. He is. So here we go then with the top 10. As I mentioned, and everyone probably knows by now, early points on offer. Ewan's going for the track position here, and Bacon Soda's let him go. So Ewan is now first on track. So we'll jump up to him again. So I don't know what the weather's going to be like for the race, so we can have a nice little surprise. Everyone's out on track now. Thank you very much. Makes my job so much easier, chaps. Thank you. I'll try and keep track of where everyone is. That's the other thing with Singapore. If you jump on board and try and look at the clouds, you can't see them because it's dark. So you don't know if it's going to rain or not. It never changes. Ewan round the last corner to be the first one to set a lap in Q3. Or start a lap, sorry, should I say. So Ewan, and then Bacon Soda's behind Ewan, then Greza's behind Bacon Soda. So that's the first three that I can remember, and then Fritz Trick. It looks like we've got the two Alpines of Kamarov and Davies sort of fairly close to each other as well. So what can Ewan then? What sort of pace can he set for everyone to chase? Scott has joined. I didn't even realise he'd left again. Otherwise, we just quickly let's try and get A72 back in case he's not. I'm not sure if he is or not. I didn't see his name pop up. He's online, so I'll send him another invite just in case he's not. But we'll go back to Ewan's lap now. I reckon we're going to see someone in the 36s, Tom. That's my early prediction. We've already seen it once, so we know Plum can do it. But I think Kamarov's got it in him as well. Maybe even Bacon Soda if we can keep the lap clean. So there are some really, really quick guys in it. Ewan then. He does a 38.5. That is initial pace. Bacon Soda. He does a 36.4, but must have been invalidated, I suppose. Graham does Greza does a 37.2. Fritz Trick does a 39.4. We've got Kamarov with 37.3, and Davies with a 38.9, and then Plum with a 36.4, not a 36.5. Spread goes with a 37.3. Icebreaker then. This is a slower lap from him, so he's probably going for one now. Robbo, looks like he's abandoning this one and coming in. He is. Must have maybe picked up some damage on the way round. Bacon Soda. I think he may just be coming in to start again. A72's back in. Excellent. Nice. I'm glad that's happened. Not sure if he was just disappearing for a bit of practice or what. Not normally how we run things, but I can't really stop him doing it. He's not human. No, he's just quick. So yeah, Ewan's coming in. Oh, got some yellow flags here. Gaggle of 3 cars. I'm not sure what's happening here. These two are racing. Plum and Kamarov are racing here. Careful, boys. Oh. What's going on? Come on. Handbags are out already between Kamarov and Plum. Icebreaker's coming in. Not sure what Kamarov and Plum are doing. We've got a nice view of the pit lane at the moment because they're all in. Stroudy's gone for a 35.9 now instead. Strowdy also predicted Plum, Spread, Grezza. At the moment it's Plum, Grezza, Spread. So not far off, but that's as it stands at the moment. I reckon Kamarov can probably get himself up there. Anyone could really. Ewan could put a lap together. Davies, anyone could really in this top 10. Bacon Soda as well, don't forget. So this top 10 is very quick, and obviously Massey not being in here as well, otherwise he'd be up there. So he's very, very competitive. We now wait to see who's the first to blink and go out for the final run of Q3. Who will it be? We've got Robbo and Bacon Soda who haven't actually set a time yet. Oh, we do have some movement, and that is Plum. He's going to be closely followed by, looks of it, by Ewan, who's coming out next, I believe. Or was it Graham? I think it might have been Graham, actually. Yes, it was Grezza and Bacon Soda. These two had a bit of handbags last week, so let's hope they can keep it clean. Tom. What I may do an onboard for Plum's lap. See what sort of lines he takes. It may help everyone. We like to do, try and help everyone in the league. Little tips and tricks. Obviously don't do that though, because that will blow your gearbox up in real life. So here we go again. They're all out on track. I feel like a proper fanboy. Here we go then. So Plum starts his lap. Notice he didn't go into 8th gear there. Strange. See what his sector 1 time is in a second, see if he's anywhere close. He is going faster. He's 2 temps up. Yeah, up to the wall there. Cut that as much as you can, gives you a nice tighter line. All round the hairpin, nice and tight there, not over the white lines. It's perfect in Plum to be fair so far. He's now nearly half a second up on his time. He's actually catching up with a car here, not sure who it is. It's an Alpine. Kamarov's actually finished. He hasn't got round in time to start a lap. That is Cameral's car, I believe, in front. Plum then, 35.8 for Plum. What can you say? Graham then. Can Greza get anywhere close? Gets into the 36s, this Greza. 36.9. It's Bacon Soda who's next. Bacon Soda, 36.0. Wow, he was close. Spreader. Spreader doesn't improve, 37.2. Robbo. $38.6 for Robbo. P7 provisionally. Davies. 37.4. P6 now for Davies. Fritz Trick P7 38.2. Ewan P6 37.3. Oh, an icebreaker is invalidated, so that is it. That is your top 10. In all fairness, I mean, it's an incredible time. It really is, but Bacon Soda wasn't that far off it. Bacon Soda wasn't that far off. Look, just over 2.5 temps. That's not far off. But yeah, there we go. So Plum takes P1 and the extra 3 points for taking P1. Bacon Soda then, a very, very respectable time there by Bacon Soda, 36.0. Just over 2.5 temps behind Plum, gives him P2 and the extra 2 points, and Greza P3 36.9 in the Ferrari, but it's an extra point for him and the Ferrari team getting P3. Then you got Spreader, Kamarov, Ewan, Davies, Fritz Trick, Robbo and Icebreaker, unfortunately, who invalidated that last lap that he was on, so didn't get to improve. And now it's all down to what's going to happen in turn 1. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully they all get through nicely and we can enjoy the rest of the race with a full grid and no handbags being thrown around. Obviously Rufio thinks mass carnage. I hope not. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stick the race director on for you when it lets me, so we can all have a little sneaky peek into what they're going to be doing. Obviously I can't really get everyone on the screen, but we'll leave it like that. I'm going to disappear for about 5 minutes and I'll be back before the race starts, so I will see you in a second. Right then, let's have a little look. We've got a nice array, probably an even mix there of hard and medium starters. Notice Plum is starting on the hard tyre, so he'll be going longer into first stint. Baking Soda will be looking to try and get the jump on him off the start as well, being on the medium tyre. Strap yourselves in, chaps, this is going to be a bumpy ride, I think. Hopefully a good watch. The recent rivalry from last week of Grezza and Baking Soda as well into turn one, that could be spicy. Hopefully they keep it clean, obviously. We've got the ever present of Master Spread, who is the king of starts normally. Yes, I am trying to put a commentator's curse on. No, I'm not really. So yeah, keep an eye on Master Spread off the start as well, and he's also starting on the medium tyre, so a bit grippier than Plum and Grezza's tyres off the start, hopefully. For him, anyway. And obviously at the back, Massey starting on the hards, obviously the shock of being knocked out in Q2, but he'll be going longer in the first stint, try and make some moves where he can, keep himself clean, see where he ends up at the end. And obviously then at the back there as well, you've got A72 and Goomba, both on the hards, with Scott bringing up the rear on the medium tyre. I'm going to jump on board with Spreader for the start. So we want rain. Never know, never know. Yeah, we'll jump on board with P4 for the start, see if we can get a nice view. Here we go. 5 lights are ablaze, and dystopian drive through for a jump start, but we are away. Spreader does get a great start. He gets to jump on Grezza straight away. Bacon try to go for the outside move on Plum. Let's go back down, make sure everyone gets through. Looks like, oh, there is a spinner, there is a spinner. Dystopian with a jump start, and he is now down in P16. Fritztrick, I think, was the one that spanned. I'm not sure if he had any contact or anything, or if he's got any damage, but we'll soon know at the end of this lap. Let's have a look at his wing. Looks like he's still got his end plates. Bacon Soda Spread's managed to get his teammate off the start as well, so that allows Spread to try and go for Plum. All very, very close at the moment. Kamrov is now behind Ewan, so I think Kamrov's dropped down a bit off the start as well. Icebreaker. Position changes. So yeah, Icebreaker's jumped up 5 places. Scott from the back has gone up 7 places. He's actually in front of his teammate. Great start from Scott. Yeah, Robbo, Dystopian and Fritztrick, probably the biggest losers off the start on lap 1. It's a long race. Plum then nearly opened up a second gap already. Right, let's have a look, see what we've got going on. Yeah, we've got some spinners back here. Oh no, they're in the pits. My bad, sorry. Oh, Atkins and Scott, teammates. Will it be team orders? Yeah, Dystopian obviously doing his drive through, and Robbo obviously must have had some damage because he's pitted. Goomba's made up a few spots off the start as well, so a decent start for Goomba. Let's go up to Bacon Soda because he's also behind his teammate, quite close. Oh, careful. Yeah, got quite close to the rear of Spread's car there. Camera of an icebreaker. Try my best to keep an eye on these deltas, everyone. Bear with me. Camera would normally like to try and get on with it, so he's a great racer in his own right as well, Kamarov. You can't take it away from him. Excellent driver. Normally an asset to every league that he races in, Kamarov, and he's normally quick and clean, which is what we like to see. Kamarov not quite got the beans, but obviously now DRS will be available this lap for everyone. Let's go to Bacon Soda because he'll be the first one. Oh no, well, Spread will get DRS off of Plum, so that could cancel it out. Yeah, so there's not a lot going on there. Let's go back down to Kamarov. Icebreaker's also got DRS. Kamarov has a look up the inside. Oof, that was tight. Great racing from the two of them though. Atkins and Scott still following each other around. No movers there. Fritz Trick's quite close to the back of A72. Bacon Soda still up quite close behind Spread. Spread's actually caught up with Plum a little bit here. He'll still have the tyre advantage. That could be playing in Spread's hands at the moment, keeping him with Plum. Well, we do have a move between Kamarov and Icebreaker. I think Icebreaker managed to snatch it back actually. Kamarov's using a bit of battery there to get around the outside into this corner, which will give him the inside for the next one. Oh, Kamarov's hit the wall. Oh, that was just an accident, I think. There was no malice in that. Not sure if Kamarov picked up any damage there. The end plate's still there. It may be slightly damaged. I'm not sure. We'll see if he comes in. No, he carries on. I think he has got a bit of damage, you know, because he seemed to not have the turning around that long left-hander. Set to free. Oh, I think Rufio's lost it. He has around the last corner. And that is wing off. Wing off for Rufio. So it's annoying when it happens there. You've now got the whole lap without a front wing. Right, let's go back to Bacon Soda and Master Spread very close to each other again. Plum's now nearly opened up a second on Master Spread, so Spread's probably focused more on his teammate behind him. Being teammates, you'd think they wouldn't battle each other too much. Stick with this for a second. Yeah, Bacon's right up there. Spread's moved over. I'm not sure if he's going to let Bacon go here, or whether I think he may do. Yep, so Spreader has let his teammate go. Maybe use his teammate to drag him along towards Plum. Obviously they are both on the same tyre strategy at the moment. Right, let's go back to Kamarov. So I'm still not sure if he's got damage. But he's now obviously catching up with Ewan when he got a bit out of shapes. Out of shape. Let's have a look at his cornering here. Not sure. It's hard to tell really. He hasn't got any visible damage, so if he has, it may be yellow. It's just a little coming together really, where Kamarov sort of brushed the wall. There was nothing in it really. Massey is slowly and quietly getting on with his race here now in P8. Just on the DRS here of Kamarov. This looks like the battle to be with at the moment. Sort of a bit of a train behind Icebreaker. Davies isn't too far off the back of it either. Yeah, Icebreaker, Ewan, Kamarov, Massey. At the moment, are probably the closest. Robbo has jumped Rufio, where Rufio is obviously pitted because he had no front wing. He's completed his lap without front wings. Unlucky for Rufio, it really is. This track can be quite unforgiving. If you lose the back end, it's quite hard to catch it again. There's not really any sort of run-off, obviously. Kamarov getting quite close to the back of Ewan again. Got A72 and Goomba, let's quickly swap down to them. Trick's not far behind. No, not going on there. Let's go back up to Kamarov then. If a move's going to happen, you can see it may happen here. Ewan and Kamarov very close and similar on battery life and battery power at the moment. But it's just a pointless DRS zone there. Not really a lot you can do if the car in front has also got DRS. It's just not enough. Icebreaker's doing very well in his own right. Atkins is in the pits. Not sure, he may have picked up. He probably picked up some damage. It's a little early, I'd say, for a scheduled pit stop. Yeah, the light flashing away of Ewan. But Ewan's having a little look up the inside of Icebreaker, and Kamarov follows him through. And now he's got his teammate Massey behind him. So we've got two battles going on here. We've got two Mercedes, and you've also got Kamarov up behind Ewan. With Ewan not having any DRS now, he could open him up. It's set to free. I don't tell me Rufio's gone again. I think he did. So Kamarov not quite got the legs to get past Ewan on that occasion. Baking Soda still up with Plum as well, so keep an eye on that. Ooh, Dystopian Atkins. Obviously Atkins has now made his stop. Dystopian had a drive-through, so he's still on his original tyres. Kamarov bringing himself a little bit closer to Ewan. Icebreaker still in front of his teammate. In fact, Massey's dropped back a little bit now. Dystopian has got Atkins. I do apologise. Go back down to that. Atkins is on the hards. He's only just put them on, so his tyres are probably still getting up to temperature. Dystopian seems to be driving away from Atkins there, so let's go back up to Kamarov because he's really close to Ewan. Ewan runs a bit wide, but both of them have got their battery lights flashing away. Baking Soda is with Plum now as well. Ooh, here's a little look up the outside, maybe to get a bit of a switch on the inside. Doesn't pay off for him. Plum puts his car in the right place. So he's still got the tyre advantage at the moment, but that will start swinging towards Plum. Oh, Bacon. Oh, that was close. Well caught that man. And Robin Ewan still battling away. I'm going to drop back down to that in a second. We have got yellow. Rufio's gone again. I think that actually might be a fatality this time. Or was it in the pits? I think it might be in the pits. I can only assume that may be some rear wing damage. It's the only thing I can assume. Let's go back down to Kamarov then. Ewan puts his car out of the slipstream, so Cameron can't get that advantage. He does go right up to the back of his gearbox there. If anything's going to happen, you assume it may happen now between these two. Battery life again very similar because Ewan's not using it, whereas Kamarov is. Takes the inside line. Ewan, in all fairness, doesn't actually fight that too much. That's quite clever racing. He can try and save some of his battery up now by sitting in Kamarov's DRS. Sorry. Still quite close between the two of them. We've got a little train here, A72, Goomba and Fritz Trick. We'll have a little look at that in a second. Robbo's just got Atkins. Atkins is in the pits again, so he may have some issues. Let's have a look. See, yeah, it's a wing change again for Atkins, unfortunately. Fritz Trick up very close to the back of A72. Not really an overtaking opportunity there. So patient, wait for the right time. Goomba has actually got past him. I'm not sure if A72's in trouble here, where he's got some damage. Set to 3 yellows. Oh, I think that's Plum. Plum's gone. He's spun it. And he's got no front wing. That has thrown the race wide open. He's got to be careful now with Kamarov come up behind him. Obviously Kamarov may not be aware he's got wing damage. He's got to be patient. He's got wing damage, Kamarov. Well done, Plum. Pulls out the way as early as he can. Kamarov now promoted up to P4. Now what's Plum going to do? He's probably going to have to make it a two-stop now. Well, that's, honestly, that's thrown it wide open. Yep, no worries, Rufio. Just seen your comment. That's fine. If you've got rear wing damage, as long as you've clipped it, you're fine, mate. It's a shame. We move on to the next one for yourself, mate. Fritz Trick, not quite got enough to get past A72. The front four have all sort of spaced it out now after Plum's crash. Not sure if anyone else got caught up in that, but if they did, you'd assume they would have probably come in. A change of wing or something. Ewan's still close to the back of Kamarov. Icebreaker has now dropped behind his teammate. You assume as well now that the hards will start being the better race tyre, with the mediums now being 8.5 laps old. A72 back up behind Goomba. Goomba's ERS light flashing away there where he's charging it up. That'll be music to A72's ears, with him sitting on nearly 40%. Will we see a move down here? He is burning some of it. I don't think he's going to... Nah, he's going to turn it off. Unlucky Rufio. As I said, on to the next one, mate. Obviously, Goomba and A72 started quite low on the grid, so they started on those hards that they're on. Fritz Trick sticking with them. Ewan is now starting to drop out of the DRS nearly, pretty much to Kamarov. Ooh, a bit wide there from A72. That may have been a warning, but he hasn't given him the drive on Goomba that he needed. He may be able to get him on the next DRS zone if he sticks with him. So Goomba's not got a lot to battle with. Surprising actually, Goomba, he's not one for using his battery, so he's obviously trying to battle them. That's another run wide out of the line there from A72. This could be a move if he's brave enough. It'll be a late move if it is, but Goomba sticks his car in the middle of the road. And he does send it, and he's collected Goomba. I think he managed to keep it out of the wall. That's unfortunate. And that's the end of that one. Fritz Trick now on the back of A72. Everyone's almost spaced out now. You've got Ewan still trying to keep in Kamarov's DRS. And now we've got Fritz Trick on the back of A72. That was close. Goomba's just got to regather his thoughts. He's got Plum coming down behind him, obviously his teammate, and Goomba's a clever driver. He probably won't battle Plum too much, knowing Plum will try and make his way back through the field. Fritz Trick on A72. Ewan is still sticking with Kamarov, just. You assume you see those Alpha Tauris swap places there, they go. Goomba actually messed himself up there by trying to let Plum through. I imagine Plum will probably be on the scene of this little battle in a moment. Ewan is now catching up with Kamarov again. Are those mediums now starting to drop off? Unlucky Rufio, I have seen your comment. Ooh, a little bit too much exit curve for Fritz Trick. So Plum is now on the scene. Much fresher tyres than these two in front. He'll probably be doing the medium. He's all Plum now, all hoping for a safety car. Plum gets an excellent drive out of that corner. Doesn't quite have the space. He's going to send it. A little bit of wheel bashing, side pod bashing, but not anything in there. Yeah, Fritz Trick's backed out of that one. Noticed he's probably got a bit of a disadvantage and lets Plum go after A72. Bacon Soda's picked up a time penalty there. That could be big come the end of the race. Plum almost pushing A72 round here. He's got to sort of back out a little bit and try and get the drive out of this corner, which he does brilliantly. He's going to get the DRS. Gets up the inside of A72 there. Now he can sort of get his head down. Try and move on. Let's go back to Fritz Trick. Will he? No. Big mention to Ewan is he's still sticking with Kamarov as well. Let's go back up there a second. Squezza's not far off the back of Spreader either. So Grez has managed to keep himself out of troubles by the looks of it. He's sort of running his own race. He's still sitting there in P3. He's got near, oh, hello, A72. I think he's lost it. Now Goomba's up behind him. Atkins has got a time penalty against his name now. And Bacon Soda is now in the pits. Big spreaders. Oh, no, the two Haas drivers are double stacked. Hopefully for Spreader it doesn't hold him up too much. Not really. A little bit, but not a lot. Bacon's come out in P6. These guys will want to get out in front of this battle between A72 and Goomba. That is Kamarov. Oh, he's trying to get the power down, but A72 is going to get a run on him, which will allow Kamarov to have DRS down here. No, it won't. No, A72 got it. Probably not ideal for Kamarov to come out in between those two. Scott on the back of Bacon Soda after his pit stop. Obviously Bacon's tyres will still be warming up. Scott's tyres are 12 laps old now. Looking a bit sort of second hand. Kamarov trying to get past A72. going to go for the wider entry to get a bit more of a better exit. Going to burn a bit of that battery, but A72 is obviously doing the same. Careful here, chaps. Nicely done round the outside for Kamarov. Great driving from the two of them. That's excellent. Well done. That's what we like to see. Right, let's move on. Plum's now on the back of Spread. Obviously, Spread's just made his pit stop. Plum's only on the medium, so he'll be pitting again. He's not going to be able to take them to the end. Scott's making his pit stop now. Damage limitation here for Plum to see what he can do. Spreader must know that he's on a different strategy to him. He may not battle it too much, but we'll soon find out. Yeah, Plum's not burning the battery. He's biding his time. Kamarov got a massive overspeed here on Fritz Trick. He's just going to send it up the inside. Allows him the space, but he's pulled back behind him as Fritz Trick. And that is why, because there is... Oh, I think Atkins has gone. I think he's gone where Plum crashed it. You'll be careful here, because he will not ghost. Whereabouts is his car? Wow, wow. Be careful in there. Oh, that's lucky. He's gone. He's moved. Because that could have caused a bit of carnage. But now there's a safety car. Guys on the hards. Are they going to try and take the mediums to the end? Icebreaker, this may have worked out well for him. Because he was probably going to be coming in quite soon. You'd expect Plum now may react to this as well. But we do have our first safety car of the evening. So yeah, Icebreaker has come in. So is Massey, but Icebreaker shouldn't be held too much here. No, not too much. It's not going to hurt him too much. Bacon Soda then retakes the lead. Right, Grezza's come out in P2. Ewan P3. Massey 4. Icebreaker. Everyone's coming in. Kamarov's in, Fritz Trick's in, A72's in, Goomba's in. Dystopian. This has helped him out a bit. Obviously, don't forget he can now make a pit stop. He did have a jump start penalty, drive through. Oh! A72's had a penalty there for a bit of a collision. So yeah, Dystopian can now pit, but he'll be right back up with the group. Robbo's now obviously going to pit as well. Maybe stick those hards on again. I believe he started on hards and got damaged, so he'll probably stick them back on. Not ideal for Bacon Soda sitting there on a time penalty. He's got more than enough time to try and rectify that. It's going to be a bit of a stretch for the guys that have now been forced to go mediums, I think. But depending on how many laps behind the safety car, if they can try and save a bit of life in them, then maybe okay come the end. Should we get a drink? So Bacon Soda had already sort of made his... He'd played his hand and he'd made his pit stop 2 laps ago onto the hards. For him, he's going to be looking at those cars behind him on those fresh mediums and thinking, this will be fun. And like I say, a couple of guys here that have had a nice quiet race, but like Grezza, for instance, sitting there in P2. Massey, who obviously was the shocking going out in Q2, has now found himself in P4. So he's had a nice quiet race, made his moves when he needed to, and the safety cars probably helped him out as well. And now the 2 Mercedes are on split strategies. With icebreaker on the hards, Massey on the medium. We'll wait for those rear gunners to catch up. Dystopian and Robbo. So they're about a sector behind roughly. They're in the same sector as the safety car queue now. So they may catch up before the end of this lap. If not, maybe one more lap and then we will be back underway. Yeah, so Robbo's only a corner behind now. Dystopian a couple of corners behind. I mean, Dystopian, if he didn't catch up, he could probably play the clever game here and go back in for another set of mediums if he really wanted to, but he'd then have to put wear on the mediums to then catch up with the pack again. I mean, I don't think he will. I think he will just stay out on the hards, but there obviously is an idea there for him. I mean, he's just trying not to put too much wear into those hards by taking it a bit easy. He will catch up, but I'm not sure he'll catch up enough for the safety car to go in this lap. Don't worry about their fuel lights being on, that always happens under the safety car. So obviously the safety car has stayed out another lap. Dystopian now will cruise up to the back of Robbo. Don't hit the wall there, Dystopian, that's not what you want to do. We have got a pit stop. Fritz Trick is coming in, so maybe he may be doing what I said. Coming in for the mediums, he is. Did you notice them, by the way? the McLaren pit crew are sitting out waiting for Rufio's car. Now it'd be down to Fritz Trick to catch up. I believe it may be in this lap anyway, but there's no worries here from Fritz Trick. He'll definitely catch up. You'll see the queue of cars in front of him there. So that's it. Everyone is now behind the safety car. So we'll be resuming at the end of this lap. Here we go. Keep an eye on Baking Soda then to see when he decides to go. He'll now back the pack up. Obviously everyone has to stay in an orderly fashion. The Max Verstappen rule does apply. People that maybe may have sort of lost out under that safety car. I mean, look, Spreader sitting P7, Kamarov sitting P10. People that made their pit stops under the safety car. Some of them have lost out here, but let's go with Baking Soda then. Let's see when he decides to go. There he goes. He's now gone. He cannot change his mind. He's got a little bit of a jump on Greza. Ewan's actually looking at Greza here. We'll stick with Massey. Ewan's taken P2. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. I think there was a bit of side a bit of end plate from Ewan's car going flying there as well. Massey's now going to try and get a look at Ewan. Ewan's going to pull out the way. He's got to be careful. He's got damage. It's unfortunate. It wasn't probably wasn't his fault. He has got damage. He's going to try not to impede anyone too much. Massey now moves up to P3. Icebreaker's got to be patient. Ewan does have damage. So unfortunate for him. Just the nature of turn 1, it's horrible. Obviously, any clips will be sent through to the stewards. Stewards, obviously, for Monday nights is TSD Woodsy and CFC Al, or Aaron Lott or Lee M Wood on Facebook. And send them your clips as soon as the race is finished. So Ewan has now gone. I think he's actually retired on track. Yeah, so he's retired on track. We'll make a note of that one. What we like to see. Yeah, you got damage, mate. Oh, I see Master Spread left the session there. Quick, what's his name? No, oh. Yeah, he's back in. Oh, handbags going on in front with Davies and Plum. I think Master Spread should be back in his car now. Down to Camera. Oh, Camerol's been caught up somewhere here because he's now at the back. Don't forget, Camerol has got that 10-second penalty hanging over his head. I mean, being only a reserve driver, I don't think he's going to mind too much, but... Oh, Massey has now got a time penalty. Plum has managed to get past Icebreaker. So he'll be now trying to chase down Massey. Obviously Massey and Bacon Soda with those penalties may not help them towards the end. Let's go down here. Master Spread's now back in his car and trying to chase down Davies. DRS enabled. Reza very close to the back of Bacon Soda. Davies is going to have DRS from Icebreaker in front, which may obviously help him in the battle between him and Spread. Let's go up to Davies, see if we can get a bit of a run. This has been one of the corners we've seen a few overtakes tonight, but it's very... Icebreaker leads him, and probably more than enough room, to be honest, into that corner. Being very respectful. They're still side by side, and there's a... Oh! Yeah, Davies, unfortunately, he had to back out of that one. Sort of tapped the side of Icebreaker's car, which put him offline. Hopefully he didn't get damage from that, but now it's brought Scott and A72 into this, and Goomba. And Master Spread sort of capitalised out of that and has now moved himself away from that little gaggle of cars, and he can now go chasing after that top 3 position if he wants it. Just keeping an eye out. Let's go down to Dystopian and Sergeant Kamarov. Kamarov's now moved up into P12, and he'll be chasing after Robbo Snipes. This is almost a big train now. It pretty much is, from Icebreaker all the way down now to Dystopian. Notice Fritz Trick actually went back in the pits because he's put the hards back on. Icebreaker has lost the position there to Scott. Big train of cars here. Anything could happen. Scott gets himself a penalty. He did run a bit wide there. Davies is looking keen up the inside of Icebreaker. Obviously they're both going to have the DRS. Icebreaker and Davies both on similar battery life. Ooh. Careful chaps, Davies has to run wide. Icebreaker's not really allowing him the space on the track. Davies sends one up the inside. And there is damage from somewhere. I think Scott may have damage, yeah. I think Scott's got no front wing. Unfortunate for Scott there. Kamarov, be careful mate, he's got no wing in front of you. I'm sure you'll probably be in party with him, but Kamarov has got Goomba up behind him as well. Yeah, just licked the stamp and sent it out the inside of Scott there. So Scott probably trying to get out the way best he can without that front wing. Goomba then. Ooh, that Williams behind him approaching quite quick. I am keeping an eye on the deltas there. Bacon Soda, Massey, Plum, all in a little queue. Goomba cuts the corner a bit there. You can only assume that's going to have been a warning. That's not an overtaking position, but Goomba will want to get past Scott as soon as he can, because it's going to hold him up and losing time. The group in front. Scott, as I say, peels off to the left. Now Goomba can sort of get on with it. He's going to have Robbo Snipes for company as well. Right. Oh, no, Kamarov's gone. Kamarov has gone. Where's he gone? Didn't even see where he went. Not sure if he's just gone straight on, but that is another safety car. Scott's just made a pit stop. Kamarov's car's gone. Not sure what's happened there. Any clips, obviously, will be sent to the relevant stewards. Nine laps to go. Safety car is out again. Bacon Soda has lost the lead to Grezza. It has also got a 3-second penalty as well as Massey. This may not all be over for Plum and Spread. But what will they do? Will they all be going in for fresh mediums? I don't think anyone's going to chance the softs. I don't think they'll last. Let's have a look, see what Grezza's doing. Grezza has stayed out. Bacon Soda is coming in. Massey stayed out. Plum stayed out. Spreader stayed out. Davies staying out. A72 staying out. Icebreaker's coming in. Goomba stayed out. Robbo's coming in. Dystopian's coming in. And say Scott's just made his pit stop. So yeah, a couple of the hard runners, well, the two hard runners are now going to go in and probably put the medium tyres on. Obviously a couple of the medium runners have gone in and put fresh mediums on as well. Bacon Soda, unfortunately, say he's sitting P8 with a penalty. Goomba's obviously now got a penalty. With Bacon sitting P8, he's going to want to try and make the moves to get back up, but it's going to be difficult, and he needs to be clever about it. He can't just send moves. We did see a couple of dodgy moves last week from Bacon Soda. We don't really like to see that. I don't like calling people out for it, but I just hope he is a bit more patient about it this week. Don't forget, we award points from 1st to 15th, so whoever finishes tonight is going to get points. Oh, and Bacon Soda's just clipped the wall there. Don't think he got damage. He has. He's lost his front left end plate. Unless he had that before and that's why he's pitting it, hasn't fixed it. I'm not sure. What's he going to do now? What's his play? Is he going to risk it and go for the softs? Because he's got to fix that wing, otherwise he's going to be a sitting duck at the restart. He's going to want them to try and get round to that pits. Get round to the pits as soon as possible. He's going to go in. He needs to just go for it. It doesn't matter. So will he go for the softs? It's the only thing he can do really now. 7 laps remaining. There's the McLaren team still sitting there waiting for Rufio's car. No, he's going for mediums again, but they are the mediums he was already on. So they are 12 laps old. But he has now got a new front wing. Scott's coming round and he's actually in the pits, and Scott has gone for the softs. So if he takes them nice and easily and cautiously round this sort of lap and doesn't take too much life out of them, they may last. I mean, they'll be pretty dead by the end, but they could potentially make it to the end. Thank you very much as well to the viewers that have stuck with me throughout this stream. You don't want to be taking too much life out of them, Scott. I know you're going to want to catch up. I think it may stay out for one more lap yet, so you may be okay. If it was coming in, it would have said it by now. So I think you've still got another lap to catch up. Yes, definitely one more lap. Bacon Soda and Scott are now in the same sort of sector as them, just a couple of corners behind. So yeah, one more lap behind the safety car and we'll be back underway for the last 6 laps. Tom Strowdy really wants that rain. Bacon Soda, what's going on here? Has he lost it? Oh no, he's going back in. He's now going in for the softs. He realises his mistake and he's now going in for the softs. No, he's not. He's going back in for those other mediums. I suppose he hasn't really lost out on a great deal. But this, I believe, is the last lap behind the safety car. So Bacon Soda's going to have to put the foot down now to try and... Going to have to put the foot down now to try and catch up. will see the queue of cars now. So there we go, safety car is in this lap. It's now up to Grezza to get us back underway. For Scott now, it's all down to whether those softs will last the last sort of 5-6 laps. He would have done what he can, Scott, to try and not take too much life out of them under the safety car. Once Grezza goes, he goes. He cannot obviously stop. Now that he has gone, Massey's pretty much gone with him. Plum is sat behind Massey. Icebreaker side by side with Dystopian. And then he's going up, trying to get up the inside of Robbo now as well. Actually does get the move on Robbo. It's great racing there from Icebreaker. Goomba and A72 have pretty much had a race-long battle, these two. Haven't really been away from each other for long. Icebreaker very close to the back of Goomba as well. It's been hard to keep an eye on this. Bacon Soda's made the move on Dystopian. Not sure if Dystopian's had issues. Scott now up to P10 on those softs. Robbo, Icebreaker, Goomba. Careful. Oh, a little tap on the back end of Goomba's AlphaTauri there from Icebreaker. Master Spread very close to the back of Plum as well. Look up to that. Oh, Icebreaker, Goomba. Goomba gets a bit out of line there, which is now going to allow Robbo to have a little look. Oh, and Scott's now. Oh, this is close. Careful. Fewer cars here, sort of all up behind Goomba. Robbo, obviously, as we know, on those soft tyres, it's going to give him the advantage around the corners. For now, depends how long they'll hold up. Might give him the exit speed that he may need to try and get up past Robbo. We have got a yellow in sector 1, that is Dystopian, unfortunately. And Bacon's going to get a bit of a run on on Scott here because he got pinched on the curb. Bacon Soda's there. Sends one up the inside of Scott. Scott doesn't fight it too much. Right, where else can we look? Bacon Soda now on the back of Robbo Snipes. Icebreaker and A72 still very close. Bacon Soda going for another move. He's got to be careful though. He doesn't want it to end in tears. Robbo defends that well. It's not really a... Oh, Scott stuck his nose up the inside and then runs wide. I think he sort of just panicked a bit there. Icebreaker and A72 swapping places. Back to Scott because he's now back on the back of Bacon Soda again. Plum is now 3 temps behind Massey. DRS enabled. Grezza trying to get Massey out of that DRS range. Massey does have the 3-second penalty hanging over his head. Plum's managed to save a lot of his battery here. He'll love the fact that Massey's battery is now flashing away. We have lost. What's going on? Goomba's round. Bacon Soda's round. Master Spread's going to have the best view of this one. Baking Soda and Goomba have a little bit of coming together by the looks of it. It's unfortunate. Sticking with this battle at the front. Massey holding his own at the moment against Plum. Thing is, for Massey, he knows he's going to lose these two positions. So what does he do? Does he just allow them the positions to then hope that they can tie him away from the rest so he doesn't lose any more positions? It's a hard one to call. Yeah, so the top 5 guys there, all on 13 lap old mediums. Obviously Icebreaker and A72 have now swapped places, Tom, so let's go up to Plum then. What can he do? Massey's battery splashing again. Plum doesn't use any of his battery power there. He saves it all for this next DRS zone. Icebreaker's close to Davies. Not close enough for a move, I don't think. Baking Soda, 3 second time penalty, I assume. Yeah, I think that was. There goes Plum then on Massey. Massey hasn't really got the battery power to fight that. Plum now takes over P2 and can now get his head down and chase after Grezza. Spread sort of sat behind these two whilst they were battling and has managed to save a bit of his ERS. Icebreaker's quite... Oh, sector 2 yellow. I think that's Goomba again. No, it's Baking Soda's gone. So it's all unravelled for Baking Soda. Got to keep an eye on these battles. Icebreaker, Davies. The Dystopian's quite close to the back of Scott. Let's have a quick little look at position changes. Massey up 8. Oh! Icebreaker nearly lost the back end a little bit there. A72's up 8. Scott's up 8. Goomba's up 5. Oh, Icebreaker runs wide. Dystopian on Scott. Not sure if Scott's tyres have already started dropping off. Baking Soda's back on the rear end of Goomba again. Keep an eye on Dystopian as he looks to try and make a move on Scott. There's a few battles going on still and it's getting right close to the end of the race here. Dystopian sweeps around the outside of Scott. I think his tyres are sort of starting to drop. Baking Soda on the back of Goomba into the DRS zone. He's got a great drive out of that corner, could potentially send the move. Goomba's got a lot more ERS than Bacon though. Goomba managed to defend that one. That's got to Robbo as he's up back end at A72. Go back up to Master Spread in a second when I have a chance. Let's go now. Master Spread puts his nose out to let Massey know he is there. Plum's now taking some time out of Graham. It's going to be a last lap dash, first and second. Master Spread knows he's probably going to get the position on Massey as long as he doesn't get a penalty himself. They've got the gap behind for Massey to actually finish P4. Back down to Robbo, Snipes and A72. Actually Baking Soda and Goomba again. So many battles going on, I'm trying to keep track of them all. It's not really an overtaking opportunity there. Let's go back up to Spread and Massey. Nothing going on there. Robbo and A72, not a lot going on there. That is correct, Michael, yes. Grezza does have a penalty hanging over his head from last week. Baking Soda has got Goomba again. Robbo and A72 still very close. Gunners cheering on Grezza. 2 yellows. Hello, that's Plum. Plum's in the wall. He can't move. He can't move. He's just got to sit. Oh no. Plum's bottled it. He's now been disqualified. Oh. That's so unfortunate. He couldn't move. But we will follow Grez around as he takes the victory tonight. Massey will go over the line in P2, but Master Spread is actually going to take that away from him. Icebreaker comes over the line to take P4. Davies for P5. A72 over the line for P6, but will lose that to Robbo, and Dystopian takes P7. A72 P8. Scott then went for the soft strategy at the end, takes P9. Bacon Soda then takes P10. Let's have a little look at this. Wow. Gunners, we stop it. Driver of the day from the game, Scott. My driver of the day. My driver of the day. Do you know, I don't like to give driver of the day to someone who has a penalty. So for me, do you know, I'm going to give it to Master Spread. He kept his nose clean and he's managed to pull P4 up to a P2, which is obviously going to turn into a P1 for Master Spread. So yeah, Master Spread is my driver of the day. But we'll give you a quick rundown. Grezza takes the win on track, but has got an after race penalty to go on, and that's going to drop him down, unfortunately, to P8, I believe. But Grezza takes P1 on track. Tonight he will get the interview. So Grezza P1. Master Spread takes P2, which will obviously say P2. It will become P1. Not sure who we've got. Hang on. Sorry about that. Where are we, for God's sake? Right, I'm back with you now. Fucking hell. Messed that one up a little bit. Right, let's get these people in. Not sure if it does that now, because I'm streaming through the dashboard. It should still come through. Hang on a minute. Right, so someone say something. I'll see if I can hear you on stream. Someone say something. I'll see if I can hear you on stream. Someone say something. I'll see if I can hear you on stream. Someone say something. I'll see if I can hear you on stream. Yeah, I believe I microphone on settings. I believe I did it, party audio. There you go. Right.
You can hear us now?
Yeah, no, they can't.
Yeah, I believe you're all there now. Right. Sorry about that. I messed up towards the end and for some reason decided to join your party rather than invite you all to party. Yeah, so we'll go with yourself, Massey. I know you was not expecting a decent race tonight. You weren't especially not expecting the podium, and then you obviously picked up that 3-second penalty as well. But you've still managed to come through in P3 with Plum unfortunately losing it towards the end there and then getting disqualified for not being able to move because of cars coming through. So P3 for yourself. Run us through your race, mate.
Well, I mean, it could have been P1, but because I picked up my third warning when I hit a wall, which was odd. But then I picked up another warning on the second to last lap. So I was going to try and get that removed. But I know Grezza's got his penalty, so I was quite happy when. No offense, but I was quite happy at that point. But yeah, no, my start was good. I just stayed out of everyone's way. I got a good start, passed whatever car was directly in front of me, and then I stayed all the way wide. I don't know what went on the inside of turn 3, whatever, 2 or 3. But I just drove around Carnage, found myself in P8, so I was like, yeah, winner. And the rest of the time I was just keeping up.
Yeah, so they just moved on with your race from there, pretty much. Yeah. As I say, it's a great race from yourself. You managed to keep yourself out of quite a lot of troubles, and that's what happens when you do that. You know, you've pulled yourself into a podium finish. Okay, unfortunately, your 3-second penalty at the end messed you up a little bit. But yeah, congratulations, mate. As we all know, it will be a P2 in the end, but P3 on track. You can't really complain with that one, can you?
Exactly. Over the moon. Cheers.
Yeah, excellent, mate. Well done. Master Spread.
Oh, yeah.
P2 for yourself on track, which will turn into P1 as we well know. And also my driver of the day tonight. Great race, mate. Kept your nose clean. The only reason it didn't go to Massey is because he did get that 3-second penalty. So yeah, driver of the day, eventual P1 for yourself, mate, but P2 on track tonight. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's great result, really. Considering what you're up against in this grid. Massey, Grezza, Plum, Kamarov, Bacon, there's Davis is quick, Robbo's quick. There's a lot of decent drivers, so it's come away with any results. I was a fuss idea, to be honest. But yeah, good race, kept it clean. You've got to pick your battles. You really got to pick your battles. Definitely. I really wanted to get Massey, but I knew he had 3 seconds. I suspected he picked up another warning. I've seen him run a bit wide, but I wasn't sure. But sometimes you can't win them all, can you? But it turns out that if you're just patient enough, you can.
Yeah, as I
had to put you in the wall.
Yeah, great race from yourself, mate. As I kept your nose clean and just done what you needed to do, as you always do, mate. So well done.
Yeah,
and you're gonna be rewarded with a P1 because the next guy I'm about to speak to had a bit of a wobbly last week. And has kind of ruined it for himself this week. But P1 on track, Grezza, great race. Yeah. The stars aligned for you really with that first safety car, second safety car, whatever one it was.
Yeah, mate, I love Singapore. Sorry, go on. I thought you finished asking me.
No, as I say, the stars aligned for you, and yeah, you just sort of controlled the race from there. So congratulations for P1 on track. How do you feel?
Yeah, that was a really, really good, solid race. I love the track. I know the safety car benefited me, but I thought the first stint was really good pace, being like 2 seconds off Spread on the mediums. I mean, I think I was set up to get him in the second stint. Even a possible even cut. And then, I got Bacon on the restart when he was on those hards. I think I had so much more grip than him. Was go after it at some point, and it's I know I had the penalty, but it was just try and win it and get as far down the road as I can, and I had fun, and it was it's a good race.
Yeah, I mean you're not the only one that's got some post-race penalties to go on this week, so we'll see what happens come the end when Woodsy's worked his magic, see where everyone actually ends up. Unfortunately, because of my mess up trying to invite everyone to party, I didn't actually give a run through of the race at the end there, but we got there eventually. We've got you all in party. We've got you all interviewed. Next week, I can't remember where we're off to next week.
Is it Suzuka after Singapore? It always tends to be.
I think it may be. I'm just gonna have a quick look. Yes, Suzuka.
Yeah, I know it's Fred's favourite track, or one of his favourites.
I do like Suzuka.
I'm
Yep.
not talking spirit about Suzuka.
Hey.
So yeah, off to Suzuka
Cheers,
next week for
Midnight
you
Man.
guys. So obviously good luck with that one. Hopefully we'll have the normal comms team back together next week. Hopefully Aaron's okay. And yeah, we'll be back with us next week. So moving on to the rest of the week, obviously remaining in Singapore, Wednesday division will have a go. Obviously myself, CFCL, THD Apex, Domar, Stroudy and the rest of them all having a go around Singapore. And then obviously moving on to Saturday, we'll have the Performance League, obviously streamed by Gunners both Wednesday and Saturday, for 100% performance around Singapore. I will thank everyone that has tuned in tonight. So I haven't done it on my own for a little while, so I'm a little bit rusty. Hopefully it wasn't too bad, and hopefully you all enjoy watching that one back as well, because there was a good few battles in there. But yeah, thanks to everyone that raced. Thanks to the top 3 guys for jumping in for an interview. And RRF1 will be back with you on Wednesday night with the Wednesday tier. But for now, it's the darkmarc signing out. Thank you very much for watching, and good night.